What's up, YouTube? I'm Cool40 here. I wanted to talk about the match that you guys just particularly watched, and a few things that you guys might have noticed on some of my plays. I'm actually watching the replay right now to kind of make some key points here. Basically, the first thing, I really didn't think this was going to be, that hard of a matchup, because he's only got 8 cards in his extra deck. Usually when your opponent's only got 8 cards in their extra deck, that means that they're too lazy to fill the rest of the extra deck, or they're just not a good player in general. So it's just a stereotype. Don't get offended if you only play like 8 cards in your extra deck. It's just generally how the mindset of particular players think. He actually ends up dropping Vanity's Fiend on me mid-game, and I actually was talking to my friend on Skype, and I was like, I should just scoop now, because this is just ridiculous, I was like, I'm just going to generally lose to this thing because I don't have any outs to it. I actually end up getting over the Fiend because of the help of Effect Veiler to load up more monsters onto the board and kind of just stall out. I didn't actually think that I would have any real answers. I actually forgot about Chaos Necromancer for a little while until I re-looked at my hand like, oh, that's Chaos Necromancer. He actually ends up hurting himself really hard the minute that the Obelisk hits the board. The Obelisk was actually really scary for me. I did think about going into Lionheart and try to burn it out, but at the point that he just had the Vanity's Fiend and the Obelisk on the board, I just summoned the Necromancer for 3,000 to get over it, which, was really no big issue. Judging by the plays that he was making, the only real thing that he could do was try to just kill my Necromancer, and from that point, my life points really didn't matter. So I really wasn't too worried about that. The Obelisk, like I said, was going to be a major problem for the longest time. I actually ended up taking care of it with Cataster. Good old Cataster takes care of problems. Outside of that, though, this particular matchup, he actually ends up rage quitting. You don't know the amount of rage quitters that you actually get on DevPro. It's like they're a bunch of little children. I mean, I rage quit every once in a while, depending on the particular situation, just because there's just some matchups that you just can't win. Or you play against the stupidest things. Like, if I see you playing a 60-card deck, I'm just going to quit. And particular things like that. Another key thing that he did that I actually wanted to mention was actually when it was a little bit right before he rage quit. I actually I had the Cataster, then I brought out the Duelham, and people were like, well, why did you go into Downed Magician? Downed Magician actually was a 2700 Trampler at that point in time, and the important thing about her was she could draw attention away from the Cataster because she was 2700, and every time he recurs the Treeborn Frog, I'm just going to run over whatever you do. He actually ends up rage quitting the minute that the Sea Lancer gets Veilered, because I think the player thought that, oh, well, you have, nothing, or you just sacked me with the Veiler. Yeah, it's Yugioh, buddy. I'm sorry. But, like I said, the key points to the match were the points where he had the Vanity's Fiend on the board, and I thought he had victory, but Chaos Necromancer said, nope, just stall him out. He actually kills himself with the Soul Exchange play, in my personal opinion, to bring out the Obelisk. I don't know why he wasted his resources when he could just safely attack with the Mobius, safely attack with the the Fiend, and then, just wear me out. Also, the factor that my opponent really didn't know what I was playing also played major. But my question to you guys is, do you feel that the Soul Exchange play to bring out the God was actually the losing point for him in the match? I particularly feel that it was, because he could have had much more pressure without the Egyptian God on the board. I would have had a lot more issues I would have been another turn behind, in my opinion, because I would have had to deal with another Monarch, as opposed to the God. But that's just my 2 cents. So, guys, tell me what you think about this particular matchup in the comment section down below. I really can't analyze this much more. There's not really much more to say other than Salty Frog Monarch player is salty because his God got blown up. So, alright guys, I'm out. I hope you guys kind of enjoy these little analyzation things. You guys kind of get to know what's going on inside my head. Remember, always know what's in your extra deck. Always know what your possible plays are. And you guys will always be fine. Later guys, I think.